Hello, you have something special. You have greatness in you. I am so excited. Move this over a little bit so I can look straighter ahead. Yeah. And Tafel, please help me right now. Okay, listen. I have a habit that I've developed to know something today that I didn't know yesterday. Because my goal is to be independent. I just get tired of getting on people's last nerve, calling them when I get an idea or something, and I have to wait for them to call me back, and I have to be able to wait for them to put me on. Now I can do it myself. I learned something today that I didn't know yesterday, and I am so excited. Now, listen, I talked earlier, and I think it's very important at this stage of my life to honor something that Dr. Miles Monroe, who is the most famous student that I had, who said to me after we spent many sessions together, and I talked to him about when you use religious languaging, you only talk to 15% of the audience. I will show you how to broaden your languaging and strategic way of communication so that you can have a greater and broader appeal. And he did that. And he said, you know what? There's no success without successors, Les Brown. You need to teach others how to do this. And I've been blessed. He and I flew from Nassau, Bahamas down to Belize and back, just the two of us and a pilot. Okay. And I think that when I look at my life, how many have ever had some close situations? We were coming back from Belize. We were just above the telephone lines. And when we landed, he got off first. His staff came out. And finally, when I got my stuff together, come off the plane, he looked up and said, oh my God, look at him, look at him. And everybody started laughing. I had peed all the way from Belize back to Nassau. I was so nervous. I said, oh my God, I'm not going to get on any little small planes no more. I need to be on a big plane with a lot of people so there'll be a lot of prayers going up. I don't even know if the pilot was saved, okay? But I want to talk to you about, and I'm going to be doing a heavy conversation about this, that in all of the things that's going on in AI, you want to do more than listen to the narrative that you're going to be eliminated. No, you can never remove the human factor. That cannot happen. When you think about where I am and how I got here, and I want to share something with you. I talked about you got to have a powerful why. Why? What drives you? What is it that as you think about yourself? What is it that created the shift in you and the inner conviction that you wanted to do something with your life? In my case, my goal was I wanted to be hungry to be able to take care of my mother, and I had to find something that I could do that would allow me to do that because of the fact that I had resigned from the Ohio legislature. And so I was looking for how could I repay this person, Mrs. Mamie Brown, who adopted Wesley and I after Dorothy Bell Rucker, our birth mother, went from Gainesville, Georgia, down to Miami to Liberty City, gave birth to us and put us in foster care. And Mama, she never had any children, so we were her first. That's Wesley and I. Now, which one am I? I'm on the right or on the left? I'm the handsome one, okay? I'm on the left, okay. And so I was gonna let y'all guess, but no. But let me share something with you. When I talk to you about what it is that you have to do to make it against the odds, and being born in the segregated South in a culture that's designed to crush your spirit and your energy and make you feel less than based upon how the way they treated you. Just listen to me. All of being in a toxic environment where you are hated just because of your color. Just think about that. This picture, Wesley and I were eating sugar cane. I remember being on the bus with Mama. There would be seats up front, and Mama said, keep walking, keep walking. We had to go to the back of the bus to get a seat. but it was already crowded. So we had to stand up. And I said, Mama, why can't we sit up there? Shut up and stand back here beyond this yellow line. That law was designed to make us feel less than human, not having access to go to restaurants or public restrooms. All of those things that were done, they were done to make us feel less than human. I mean, just imagine when the pictures came out with former President Barack Obama and the First Lady as apes. That's I mean, when you do that, that's saying, hey, you're not worthy of respect. I remember Ralph Ellison, he wrote a book called Invisible Man. And he said, the impulse to dream has been beaten out of me through the experiences of life because of living in an oppressive environment that he didn't even think about dreaming anymore. But I did. I had this dream. Mama, what is it, Leslie? When she would take me to work with her on Miami Beach to clean the homes of wealthy people, because the neighbors said, Mamie, we'll keep these other kids you've adopted. Mama adopted 7 altogether, but you have to take Leslie with you. I see a little touch in the head. So I want you to look at where I started from. Look at just that. I want you to look at this picture here. Now, we weren't poor. We were ho. We were not P-O-O-R. We were P-O. When you got a call, Mama would give us kerosene and sugar. You got well or you died. I mean, these old remedies, or they wrap you in Palmer Christian leaves, or the millennials don't know anything about this. Okay, all right. But just think about when I say you've got greatness in you, listen to me. I know what I'm talking about. Don't let somebody tell you something that they don't have any receipts. I got the receipts. You think about what it took for me to be there. That's Tony Robbins standing behind me. And on the right, all the way to the right, Dr. Dennis Waitley wrote The Psychology of Winning. But you know all these guys here. 7 Principles of Effective Living and Brian Tracy. But here's the point that I'm making. I did not know I had the ability to do what I've done. I had no idea. But my mother, because I was so determined to take care of her, so determined not to allow her to go into a nursing home. How could one woman raise 7 children that they can't raise themselves, that she didn't give birth to, but 7 grown people can't take care of? One woman? No. And so you could tell I'm a mama's boy. I remember Mama used to beat me for coming home late. When I was a kid, you came home, you had to come home before the street lights went off. And I was always late coming home playing checkers with the old men on the corner and over there on 10th Street and 5th Avenue. And Mama used to say, Leslie, it hurts me worse than it does you to beat you. I said, no, it doesn't, Mama. No, it doesn't, Mama. Then why don't you come home before the lights go off? Yes, ma'am. I remember when I saw Malcolm X, I came home because the teachers called my mother and said I would not stand up and say I was Les Brown. I said I was Les X. I was Leslie X. I know Leslie, that's a slave name, that Brown. No, I'm Leslie X. And so I went home after they called Mrs. Carr. She called my mama and told her, well, you know, Mamie Brown beat the X out of me. So the next day I was Leslie Brown. You can't make this stuff up. But just think here. So you look at me and this woman, she inspired me to take care of her and to live a life that she would say, I'm proud of you, boy. Let me show you something else. Hold a minute. So I used to be a disc jockey here. LB Triple P, Les Brown, your platter playing papa. There were none before me, and there will be none after me. Therefore, that makes me the one and only. Young and single and love Domingo, certified, bona fide, indubitably qualified to bring you satisfaction and a whole lot of action. Look out, baby, I'm your love man. Now, when you look at this Les Brown, remember Paul said, I must die daily. We must die daily so that we can become the next greatest version of ourselves. I want you to write down, take the time, go to hungrytospeak.com, because those of you that do it in the next 3 hours, what I'm going to do a 3-hour intensive with you. I'm going to give you, and this costs nothing. I'm not selling you anything other than your greatness, that you have greatness in you. I want you to know that. I've been blessed to be a blessing, and I'm going to stay in your face about this. And so I'm going to teach you some tips, some basic things of how to cultivate your superpower, your ability. When you learn to communicate, this high school teacher told me, Les Brown, develop your mind. You don't get in my life what you want, you get in life what you are. Number 2, practice OQP, only quality people. You run around with 9 broke people, guarantee you'll become number 10. And 3, develop your communication skills, because once you open your mouth, you tell the world who you are. Let me show you the benefits of that. Because I was able to communicate, I ran against a 22-year incumbent for the Ohio legislature. That's Mike Cinziano on the right of me. And I was elected. And everybody in Columbus, all the community leaders, they said, Les, we'd love to help you. We appreciate all the voter registration drives you had and the record number of people you inspired to come out to vote, but you're off the air. They've taken their microphone. That was your power. And so they said they would not vote for me. They would not support me. They would not endorse me. But one named Jerry Hammond, there's a Jerry Hammond Center on Broad Street in Columbus, a city councilman. He said, Les Brown, I'm going to support you. I know they say that the Democratic Party will stop voting for me and giving me money and supporting us, but you've done too much for this community for you not to have my support. You supported me. And I said, Jerry, I appreciate that, but I don't want you to risk your political future. I'm going to win this. I got my kids, Calvin and Patrick. I said, let's go. I had them on one side of the street and I was on the other. I had a saying when I was on WVKL radio station, stand up for what you believe in, because you can fall for anything. Now, the power, and I won. My opponent had over $40,000. I had like $650 for commercials just before the election on Friday. And my commercial, I called my mama and told her, Mama, what is it, Leslie? I need you to say something for me. I'm about to run for office. And I just think I just feel uncomfortable telling people to vote for me. Would you say something for me? Leslie, I heard you got fired running your big mouth about the police. I said, yes, ma'am, Mama. I ain't got time for this. Mama, if you say just a few words for me, I'll send you $500 Western Union. She said, boy, you better send me my damn money. And so here was the commercial. Hello, this is Mrs. Mamie Brown. When I raise my boys, I raise them to be good boys. Please vote for my son. He's a good boy. You never heard a commercial like that. I won that hands down. You hear me? People were trying to vote from other areas that weren't even in the district. They had to call the police out because Mamie Brown said, Les Brown is a good boy. My boy is a good boy. That's the power of communication. And I didn't have the experience. I didn't have organized labor or the Democratic Party, but I had a story and I had a voice, and I talked about what I was going to do. Because no college education, labeled educable, mental retarded, let me share what you can do. I was inducted to the National Speakers Hall of Fame. Nobody would have counted me out. 86% of the kids that are relegated to special education look like me, African-American boys. That's how they determined between the first grade and the third grade how many prisons to build based upon the failure rate of African-American boys in the third grade. Listen to me. If they can track failure, they can track success. So who would have thought? Looking at Wesley and I, Who would have thought your ability to communicate increases your credibility? Today, when you have a podcast, when you have a Zoom, when you are speaking one-on-one, small groups or large groups, when you're in a meeting with people and you get up to present your ideas, your ability to communicate increases your credibility. People judge you by what you say and how you say it. When Mr. Washington said to me, Mr. Brown, develop your communication skills, because once you open your mouth, you tell the world who you are. And who would have thought that my son, John Leslie Brown, was able to get me a speaking engagement at Harvard University, talk to people there, and they called me in to speak, and I did it. And if you ever heard of Toastmasters, they have the Golden Gavel Award, your ability to communicate. And let me make this clear. I had somebody call me, you know, I've been doing the recordings and sending them to you, but I just don't feel like I can do this. I can't get the hang of it like you. I've been listening to me. I said, you know what? You should become a stand-up comedian. She said, why you say that? I said, you got a gift for that. You called me. I've been doing this for 53 years. You've made me maybe 3 recordings, and you're telling me you can't get the hang of it? Are you kidding me? You got to be a comedian. How many speeches I've given? How many times that I stood up and my mind sat down? I've spoken in prisons, juvenile detention centers, elementary schools, women's prisons, on corners, speaking in Cleveland and in Columbus, Ohio, on Cleveland Avenue, and there was a shootout. Everybody running, and I'm standing, what's going on? They say, duck, let's duck. Come on, I was speaking. I said, wait a minute, I'm not doing my speech yet. They said, fool, you better duck. Are you serious? Got the Golden Gavel Award. That's Toastmasters' highest award. And then, wait a minute, they selected the top 5 speakers in the world. General Norman Schwarzkopf on the left, Lee Iacocca, Robert Schuller had a nationally syndicated television program. Paul Harvey had the #1 show at 12 noon, 15 minutes. Hello, this is Paul Harvey. Good day. Oh, boy. And there I am, the little cherry in a glass of milk. Who would have thought? Les Brown from Overtown, selected among top 5 speakers in the world. And I got more votes than all of them combined. The president of Toastmasters said, congratulations, Mr. Brown. You got more votes than all of them combined. I'm telling you what I know. There's some stuff that you can do that you don't know, but you got to challenge yourself. You got to get out of your comfort zone where dreams go to die. You are here for a reason. And when you look at what's going on right now, and they're trying to roll back things, this is the time to step up and fight. Your voice needs to be heard, and you need to be trained and learn how to put a filter on your mouth. You don't have to be like many of these people. Every other word they speak, they got to curse. I can't listen to that, man. I don't care what they're saying. No, I work with kids. I'm going to do a training with some kids in Atlanta this summer, and I teach kids. Profanity is the strongest expression of a weak mind. I know rap music has glorified it, and many of these athletes, it's now the new normal, using the F word or calling people MF. I mean, it's no big deal to them, but my goal is to train kids how to hold themselves to a higher standard, how to communicate effectively, how to be strategic thinkers, as Orrin Hudson is teaching them to do when he's teaching them chess, how to develop strategic relationships that's an asset to you rather than a liability. Because I believe that we can have little league football teams and baseball teams and basketball teams. We can have little league dermatologists and cardiologists and endocrinologists and orators. And so what I'm saying to these, I'm sharing these things to you, not to impress you, but to impress upon you. There's some things that you can do that you don't even know none. I like to go back to this picture back here. This one here. Do you have anybody know? I'm looking at my messages over here. How many of y'all like sugar cane? Now, this is during the time we used to eat sugar cane, and I don't know if they still have this around. Maybe y'all haven't heard of this about this. This is in the South. Pickle pig feet. My monitor's not moving. Let me see if what I'm saying making sense to you and resonate with you. Check this out. Is there anything I need to do there? So, well, it's not moving. Let me see. I need to see if my monitor's moving. I want to see some of your comments so I can comment on some of the things that you're saying. Here's what the point that I want to make. That you have the ability to do things that you don't know how. You don't know how to do them. So what do you do if you don't know how to do them? You figure it out. All of us are born the same way, dumb, naked, and speechless. You can learn. I wanted to learn. When I resigned from the Ohio legislature and no college training and no corporate executive, corporate training, I decided that I wanted to be on stage with Dr. Norman Vincent Peale and Zig Ziglar and Tony Robbins and all the other speakers, because there was nobody up there that looked like me. And I said, wait a minute, I'm in a system created by them for them with all the advantages and the disadvantages of me. If they need motivation, what do I need in the people who look like me? And now in this environment where we are right now, it reminds me so much when I was coming up, but they don't have a clue. What's that term I asked? There's an old saying about let sleeping dogs lie. What is that?
Sleeping dogs lie.
Let sleep. You ever heard let sleeping dogs lie? I mean, don't wake them up. There's some things that you don't want to wake up. And I'm saying to you, we're not going to take what's going on sitting down. No. You have a voice. You got a story. You've overcome some stuff. This is for us a time for us to turn to each other. We're all we have, and we're all we need. The great possibilities are going on. A tremendous transference of wealth going on right now. And this is why you have no excuse. Here I am, 81, and I'm learning technology. Why? Because I want to keep my mind sharp. If you don't use it, you lose it. So I'm saying to you, I'm going to be doing a special intensive for the first 17 people that go to hungrytospeak.com. Get your free magazine, because I'm going to do this small intensive through Zoom on how to take your message. And it doesn't have to be a down and out message. My message was how I got rejected going to WMBM radio station, applying for a job, and Milton Butterball Smith said no. And I kept going back. That's a very simple message. When I spoke at the Georgia Dome, I told a very simple story about how I beat my son, John Leslie Brown, in what's that game that it was? Connect Four, okay? And that was a very simple story. Go online and see it. Go to put in, it's not over till I win. Les Brown speaking in the Georgia Dome. Just put in Les Brown speaking in the Georgia Dome, and you'll see it. And then it's possible. That's another one. And you've got to be hungry. That's another one. You'll see it. And the reason I'm telling you this, I'm not telling you this as one of my students said, to impress you, but to impress upon you. You are greater than you think you are. You can do more than what you think you can do. Rob the cemetery of your dreams, of your story. Share your lived experiences to build a new economy for yourself and for your family and for generations yet unborn. You're here for a reason. So, I don't know you, but here's what I know about you. Based upon my experience, you're more than a conqueror. Come on, he's about to preach up in here. No, I'm about to preach. Yes, greater is he that's in you, that's he that's in the world. Oh, come on now. Come on. Get the collection plate ready, okay? Your ability to communicate makes you future-proof. What I'm doing now, Chat GPT, Claude, none of them can do it. Because when people hear you speak, they want to relate to you. You can't relate to a computer or an app. They want to identify with you. You can't identify with Claude or Chat GPT. They want to feel a connection with you. There's an essence that you have. You don't get no essence from no app or some computer. No, you're made in the likeness and image of God. Computers were created by people. You are God's most precious possession. Oh, behave. He's on fire today, honey, because he to learn how to do these controls, and he don't need nobody no more. No, I got this now. My son Tola came over and helped me to do it. He set it up for me. And now I can push buttons and bring myself on and have to go through all those other changes I was going through. No, homie, doing this. I'm going to learn something tomorrow. I tell you, if you learn something today that you didn't know yesterday, you make a habit of that, you will expand your mind, your creativity, and your income. I'm telling you, I told my kids, y'all ain't got to do nothing for me. I'm fine. I take care of myself. I'm independent, and I'm doing the things to maintain my independence by nutritional eating, exercise, reading, working. My goal is to finish strong. So I want you, I think 7 is my lucky number, 21. 21 people registered today for, no, just get the order of the magazine today. hungrytospeak.com. Go to Hungry to Speak. And I'm doing a 60-second challenge where you send in a 60-second challenge, and we look at them, and we're adding some gifts to it, because my goal is to create the next group of great national and global speakers. People from Nigeria, people from London, England, people from Canada, people from China, people from Japan, people from Dubai, people from all over where I've got people who've heard my voice from all over the world and who come to Atlanta to be trained by me. I'm telling you what I know. And when I tell you, you don't know what you can't do. You don't know that there are things in you that you don't want to take to the cemetery. You want to have the mindset that I can do this. And every time you doubt yourself, every time you get down on yourself, every time you think the odds are against you, I want you to remember this picture. My brother, Wesley, he's on the left. He's 5 minutes older than me. And Wesley, he's my hero. He served in the military, a combat soldier, 24 years, jumped out of airplanes 176 times. He walked point. I said, why would you walk point? That's the first person they killed. He said, somebody had to do it. I said, you my hero. Oh my goodness. And he's Purple Heart. He was wounded, stayed in the hospital in Japan for 3 months. My brother, we were together. I was his full-time caregiver for 2 years. He told me, you getting on my last nerve. I said, and you about to make me lose my mind up in here. So my niece, Anisha, and Tony, her wonderful husband, he's back with them in Fayetteville, North Carolina. I tell you, boy, this thing called life and family. I'm so grateful. I am cancer-free. I am debt-free. I'm drama-free. What a wonderful thing. Oh, by the way, I'm looking for a cougar. Y'all might try to take me back to my pre-save years. Hello? You ain't even talking about you looking for a cougar. Okay, go to hungrytospeak.com. Get my magazine and spread it and encourage other people to do it. We're getting some sponsorship for this. We're going to have some contests and the Les Brown Speak Off. All right? Yeah, all right. You have something special. You have greatness in you. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Bye for now. Bye-bye. I'm doing the controls all by myself. Okay, Tola, what do I need to do to turn it off? What do I have to do now? What,
Tap the same green
let's say,
button.
oh, right here?
Yep.
Okay. Bye for now. Bye-bye. I can't believe I'm doing this all by myself up in here.